Welcome to the studio, guys. I'm extremely excited. I just got a delivery, a very important delivery, a delivery that will help me to finally finish the studio build construction that is already going for way too long due to the COVID situation. I was waiting for some stuff. It's finally here. I'll show it to you at the very end of the video. Today, part 2 of the essential plugins every producer should own. Yesterday it was all about software instruments. Today it's all about like those little extra special plugins that a lot of people don't know about, plugins that do things very fast and easy, very complex task, and just have like really good sound quality. The essentials I always install first. So let's get started. First up, a company that makes some weird stuff that no one else does, and that's why it's one of the essentials for me, Sugar Bites. They have, for example, Wow, which a lot of people know about, but then Tornado. It's like, it's probably mostly made for live stuff, because you have like these 8 knobs you can turn and twist, which I really like, but underneath of each of them, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of tweaking, a lot of weird automated stuff, panning left, right, repeating stuff. It's really, really crazy. I absolutely love it. For example, the slice arranger takes one word of a vocal, for example, and then chops it up, puts it into a rhythm, and you usually end up with something you wouldn't otherwise. That is maybe a little random, but if you correct it a little, it usually gives you something that would be a whole lot of work otherwise. Also like the spectralizer, tonalizer, fast stop, like those typical chords that have like a pitch down, pitch up, stopping kind of effect that we hear a lot in electronic dance music. You can do all of it with this one right here. Also, another one by them is Effectrix. It saves so much time. If you have a loop, or let's say a guitar loop, a synthesizer loop, 8 bars or whatever, you can like just draw in there, and whenever it's like in there, it activates, for example, right here, the tonal delay. You can have like stutter on, and this way you don't have to automate this stuff. It is always on whenever it passes by it. Really handy. You can mix it, you can tweak everything in there. It's really complex, and like the presets are really a good starting point usually. I absolutely love it. Without it, I wouldn't even know how to pull that kind of stuff off. Then we got by DJ Swivel 3 fairly new plugins. The newest is the big distortion engine. I have to like give him credit. His plugins look the best by far. They spend a lot of time making them look cool, which is also kind of important. Let's open up the other one, Spread. And the third one is the oldest. It's called the Sauce. So the big distortion unit, as the name already suggests, is good for distorting. What I love about the plugins, they're all multi-band. So for example, on Spread, you have low, mids, and highs. You can turn and like spread all of the frequencies, but you can also go in there, make the low frequencies narrow, which makes sense in most cases, and have like the mid and high frequencies wider. And like then again with the master knob, you can change all of them. It stays as you've set it before. Absolutely love it. You can also give it like a range in general. And the Sauce right here is actually made for vocals, but you can use it for everything. You can pitch vocals down, change the format of vocals. You can spice it up and add sugar, and also squeeze smoke. Again, that's like for coloring. And here again, you can switch it to multi-band and decide which frequencies will have the effect on which knob, and a simpler spreader is also built in here. Then another favorite by a fairly small company, but they are making stuff no one else does. I absolutely love it. Soothie, now version number 2. It basically is an EQ that reacts and is really, really good for eliminating resonating frequencies. Let's say you have a hi-hat that is very harsh, or vocals that are really harsh. You can tweak it, you can decide which kind of frequencies should be affected by how much, and it reacts to the signal in a very, very smart way. I absolutely love it. Of course, you can change the depth, like the mix of it, the sharpness. You can, like, really, it is fairly complex and it saves so much time. If you do it with an EQ, you sometimes take away the resonating frequencies, but then it starts sounding lifeless. Here you can do and achieve the same without like changing the sound too much, because it reacts. Whenever there is something harsh, it pulls it away. Whenever there isn't anything, it just leaves it alone. So it's very natural sounding, saves a ton of time. They also have spiff, which I honestly haven't tested yet. I just got it a couple of days ago, but a friend of mine told me it's also very, very useful. It's basically for shaping your transients in a very smart, intuitive, and fast way, like no other plugin can actually pull off. So looking forward to further test it. I'll keep you updated. By the way, if you're interested, most of the plugins, or I think even all of them, they have special Black Friday sales. I'll link them down below in the description if you are interested in checking them out. Next up, we got the Izotope stuff. Most of you know that it exists. Probably most of you have it in some form, shape, or whatever. The newest one is the Neo Verb, something that I absolutely love. It's a very smart reverb. It has algorithms, AI learning, machine learning things going on. It can detect something, suggest you a reverb. It helps you to find the right space for the right instrument a lot faster. And then of course you can still tweak it, you can EQ it, you can make sure that you dial in the plate amount of it, the hall, the reflections, the size of the room, very fast and intuitive. And then of course, if you have the money, again, everything is on sale right now. So right now is probably the best time to get it. The RX8 stuff. If you work like professionally with music, for example, the D-Click, I use it on almost every single song on the vocals. It automatically repairs all of the clicking sounds that might be in there. Doing it without it would take so much time, like automating it by hand, cutting the vocal and fading it in and out. You don't need that. You just slap that one on and it usually works. Same for the mouth, D-Click, like these nasty mouth noises you sometimes have when you record vocals. It eliminates them really fast. Like doing this by hand, again, very time consuming. And then of course we got Ozone 9. That's like probably the best suit for mastering. You got a maximizer, you got like the dynamic EQ that reacts, an exciter, imager, the limiter that has more like a vintage sound to it. Absolutely love it. I think most people already own it, but if you don't own it right now, again, probably the best time to try and get it for a lot cheaper. I think some of the stuff, especially the bundled stuff, is reduced by 50 to 70%. And then the last is the entire Soundtoys collection. From day one, I love it. I couldn't live without it. The Decapitator is one of my go-to distortion units. You can drive it really hard. Turn on the Punish if you really want to like have it distorted extremely. Then dial it in again with the mix. You got different styles of distortion in there. It all really sounds amazing. And then the other stuff, for example, the Crystallizer, it's just freaky. It does very weird, complex stuff that would take 5 other plugins to do. You can like delay stuff while delaying it, pitching it up or down, have reverse in there. I absolutely love it, especially like for pluggy synthesizer sounds. If you put it on like the mix knob and like turn it in on certain notes and down again, it gives like a really nice effect. And then you got like the Echo Boy, which is like specialized for echoes. It's also really nice. You can dial in the time, the feedback, you can make it sync to your project, get like different kind of sounds, a vintage sound, more saturation, less saturation. It's all really handy. And which one also? Like the Pan Man. It's also really nice. It lets you pan stuff in a very intelligent way. You can choose the rate, you can choose between LFO, rhythmic steps, you can make it like go from left to right, from the middle to the sides. You can change how wide the smoothing between like the panning So it does like something you usually would have to automate for you. Another example, Filter Freak. Like the name doesn't even get close to what it can do. It can like filter stuff for you, so but like filtered in an automated way. It could like open and close the cutoff, feed it by an LFO, so rhythmic cutoff, open, closing, phasing, like all of these kind of things to the project, to the tempo of the project. Stuff, again, you would otherwise have to automate, which can get quite annoying. It does it for you. So these are basically my picks for like the stuff not a whole lot of people know about, that does stuff very intelligent in a way that saves you a lot of time. Again, essential effect kind of plugins. I'm thinking about doing like another video and sharing with you like more the classic stuff, EQs, compressors, the best that are available. If you're interested to know more about the software instruments, I'll link that video down below, as well as all of the deals to all of the Black Friday stuff. You should definitely check out. It's like this one week to 2 weeks where you get everything for half the price. So if you want to buy new plugins, now is the right time. Anyways, back to music making, and then I'll show you what I got for the studio. Okay, let me show you. Just arrived like a couple of hours ago. I've been waiting for this for 2 months, and I had one company that ripped me off. Lawyers taking care of it. Right here we got the covering for the LED stripes. Finally, it's really long, 2 meters and 45 centimeters, and I hope it fits. It should. We measured it a couple of times, and it will make all of the LEDs basically look like a lightsaber. I'll just do it really quick. This needs to be done properly on another day. Looks really nice. Like all of them will get that kind of covering from top to bottom, diffuses the light and makes sure you don't see like the individual LEDs. And then I can just control the light of every single LED stripe. This will be so much fun. Can't wait to finish it. Stay definitely tuned. This is coming up in the next couple of days. Also, the floor cover was ordered, should arrive in a couple of days. And then we'll get to the ceiling and then hopefully finish the studio.